and good evening. All right, before we call up the awardees, I just need to lay a little bit of an atmosphere so that everybody can understand the impact the program that we run, what impact it has. In the last 17 years in South Africa, over 900,000 jobs have been lost. In the current administration alone, 700,000 jobs have been lost. And research has shown that in South Africa alone, to stifle unemployment and to keep it at bay, we have to create around 300,000 jobs each year. But creating jobs is not always the answer. Hussein has quoted Yunus Muhammad from the Grameen Bank. I will quote him also. And he says the key to alleviating poverty is not job creation, but to make every person self-employed. This will be the answer. And to take the path of becoming an entrepreneur, it is not the easiest path. In South Africa, in our context, it is probably one of the most difficult occupations to endeavor on. 5% of the South African adult population are experiencing entrepreneurial activity or are involved in entrepreneurial activity. The other statistics, and the only reason I'm throwing these numbers out is that you understand how difficult it is to even start and even run a business. Of the 5% adult population of South Africa that is involved in entrepreneurial activity, all of them will tell you that 90% of all first-time businesses fail. To make this even seem more gloomy, the 10% that does exist, 75% of them will fail in 5 years' time. So 25% of the original 10% will be existing in 5 years' time. These are the statistics, these are the challenges that most entrepreneurs face. And when entrepreneurs were interviewed and research was done on the reasons that they fail, most of them gave two reasons. One is education and training, that they had a lack of it, and the other one was finance, that they had a lack of finance. To the extent that this research has shown that 65% of entrepreneurs in the microfinance level, 65% of them don't have the money to cover their running costs every month. 63% of them don't have sufficient money to buy all the capital items required to run and sustain a business. Now, keeping these facts in mind, the program and how it exists and why we've designed it in this way is that we do not only offer training, we also offer funding. So those two aspects are covered. And the aspect of running costs we also cover. In a nutshell, the program works in this way. People will come to our offices, our clients, they will apply for the program. An assessment will be conducted on them to make sure that they have the necessary numeracy and literacy skills in order to function in a workshop environment, so that they can absorb the training. Once this assessment process is done, they enter the training room for 5 weeks. The first week is almost entirely dedicated to changing their mindset. From I can't to I can. From I am worthless to I can achieve. This mindset training is unique to our program. Then over the next 4 weeks or so, they're taken through the basic fundamentals of sales, marketing, finances, business strategy, and obviously the business plan. Their training is designed in such a way that every day in their training, they do activities which aid them in drawing up their business plan. After 5 weeks of intensive training, Monday to Friday, 9 to 4, they will get a week off to go do all their homework, get quotations, find location, do whatever they need to do to draw up their business plan. This business plan is brought in a week later. It is submitted for presentation. They will do written and they will do verbal presentations of their business plan. And then their business plan is shipped off. And it is shipped off to an external committee. And the reason I'm mentioning, and I will mention names, is for us to understand how serious this program is taken. All the assessors of their business plans are young Muslim professionals working in the corporate industry, whether it's Absa Capital, KPMG, Deloitte & Touche, IDC. Every business plan is interrogated for its feasibility and viability without even seeing the person, without gaining sympathy. That this is the person, I have 5 children, I have to look after all these needs, and without looking at pure black and white. Will this business be sustainable? Are all the facts in order? Are all the numbers correct? This external committee gives us a review and a recommendation that fund this person. So the training portion we cover, Hussein has mentioned we're already in the process of getting it CETA accredited. So the program will have some value. And for us to understand, it's a certificate that they can get, and they will get credits. And if they have these credits, should they want to study further, they can take these credits and they can pursue an academic career as well. That's what CETA accreditation means. When we fund our entrepreneurs, we give funding anything between 6 up to 30,000 Rand, depending on the business idea, depending on their requirements. Then for a period of 3 months after they've been funded, they are required to give in reports to show us how their businesses are doing. Normal sales, receipts, invoices, expenses, and we determine if they are covering their expenses and will they be able to make a profit. And for the duration of these 3 months, we will look to their safety net needs. We look after the rent for the shop, the rent at home, accommodation needs, food, 1 or 2 other expenses, to make sure that they have the best possible start when they start their business. Because we are under no illusion that even 30,000 Rand is not a lot of money. It is not enough money to start a business to make you sustainable for the rest of your life. We recognize it, and that is why we cover their safety net needs. So that if we cover a few expenses, they will plow their profits back into their business and make it more sustainable. This fact is extremely amazing because this makes SANZEF's entrepreneurship program unique as being probably the only program in South Africa that offers training and offers funding. And more so that in the 10,000 to 50,000 Rand category of microfinance, there are no institutions existing who offer this type of finance. And to date, just to give you the figures, this program has been running for 6 years. As Hussein has mentioned, this is our 4th Entrepreneurs Award. To date, we have spent over 6 million Rand in this project. We have trained over 500 people, of which 250 have been funded. 150 of them are still running. It is a 60% hit ratio, success ratio. And I remember when we did an interview with Paul, and Paul is sitting right here in front of me, and we told him that we have a 60% success rate and a 40% failure rate. The one thing Paul said is, at 60% you don't have a failure rate. And it is why I mentioned all the percentages at the beginning. 90% fail in the first year, after 5 years, 75% fail. We have this phenomenal success rate, 60%. There are a set of papers, a flyer in front of you. It's called the Green Pages. 100 of the 150 entrepreneurs' names are there. You can contact each and every one of them. If you want to even visit them, feel free to contact me. We will take you and you can see that they are operational businesses. We are not thumb-sucking. This is information we can put our heads on the block for. And the program is run every month, over and over, and we produce and we are manufacturing and churning out entrepreneurs. But every once in a while, we have to commemorate them and celebrate those who do the best. And for the past year, we have chosen 9 entrepreneurs who have done exceptionally well. Success rate, maybe I should have mentioned earlier, according to us, is if any person can look after his own welfare needs, his own rent, food, accommodation, school fees, school transport, if he can look after those, or she can look after those needs, then we regard him as successful. But every now and then there are entrepreneurs who even push that bar, who even do a little bit more. And we commemorate them and celebrate them and we give them an award. Of the 9 people that are here this evening, combined, that startup capital that we gave them was under 150,000 Rand. The criteria for them getting the award is that for an entire year, 1 calendar year, that they are running successfully on their own. It means that they are seeing no institution to satisfy any of their welfare needs. They are looking after themselves. They are self-sustainable. But amazingly, a year later, that 150,000 Rand is worth over 950,000 Rand. This is the current value of their businesses combined. The total sales value for the first 4 months of this year was in excess of 500,000 Rand. And it is directly from people who have gone through our training and have been funded by us. Now, don't take much of your time, and we'll call up the entrepreneurs one at a time.